Happy Tuesday, beautiful people. Happy Tuesday. It is September the 19th, 2023, day 105 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets, and of the 5-year consecutive day. Hold on, slow down. Did I say that right? Let me start over. I should focus. It is day 105 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets, and of the 5-year consecutive day count, day 1,485. That's what I get for trying to do two things at once. I lose where I'm at. Today, y'all, we're going to pick back up in the book of Patty, and we're going to read chapter 21, which starts on page 195. We'll probably just read that one chapter. We're going to read that one chapter, and then we're going to hop on over here to the secret Nazarite scroll, and we're going to read what we didn't read yesterday, a little bit more of chapter 43. So, Father, we thank you that you have created us to be ever learning specimens. I don't know, you're going to call us specimens or whatever. Ever learning people. All right, y'all, let's see who here. Stay moving a little slow. Okay. Tiffany, hey, cousin, good morning. Epic Homestead Quest, good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Jamia, hey, girl, hey. I must have got some sleep. Why you say that? Because I got a new, the stream is starting soon. Oh, because I was late. Greetings, Avia. I hope she's still not sleeping. How could I be sleeping if the stream starting soon screen was up? I was up, y'all. I was actually up at like 5 something. Just kind of laying there working on some stuff, going through some things my professor had sent. This is my capstone, right? This is the culmination of my master's degree. So I was just going over some of that stuff, and I was lazing around for a little bit. I really could have been here at 6:15 today. I could have been here at 6 o'clock. I was just, yeah. Tabitha, hey girl, hey. Greetings to my faithist family, love and light to all. We are at the Ish hour. Zachariah, shalom, shalom. Mom, shalom, shalom. Brian's Yogi, what's going on, fam? Facebook user tuning in from the private group. What's going on, family? Good day. I think that might be my cousin Nikki. I think she's the only one that says good day, at least in the chat. I could be wrong. It could be somebody new. Zachariah, creator only, creator undefeated. Always. All right, beautiful people. And everybody here hanging out in the background. Happy Tuesday to you. All right, y'all. So let's get started. Chapter 21, page 195 at the top. This whole chapter is 24 verses, but some of the verses are long. All right. So chapter XXI or chapter 21. After Patty had examined the places of the Asaphs and of the physicians and such other places as belong in the lower heavens, he descended to Hachdawa, the land of delusion, the happy hunting ground, in order to witness the games and tournaments which were so far maintained by a great expenditure of labor on the part of the Etherians for teaching by subjective illustrations. So remember, quick recap. Yesterday, they created these different plateaus where the spirits who are newly dead or Esians, right, fully born, newborn spirits, right, they've completed their human life here in this phase, whether they died prematurely in the infant stage or being stillborn, or they lived a long life or lived half their life. Anyway, they're done with this phase of their life. So the ones who were not as spiritually educated as some others, they get caught in some of these plateaus. And these plateaus were designed just like school, like you go through the grade schools, to help bring you up to par or bring you up to speed or to educate you on where you should be so you can continue your growth process, right? Everything is about perpetual growth with our Creator, right? Whether it's the earth whether it's us, many earths, because everything we find in the earth, we find in ourselves. Something that was amazing, one of the ladies posted, she posted, I see her face, but I forget her name. She posted a picture of tree rings, right? And I had never thought about that. That just blew my mind yesterday, but it was so simple. Even to the tree rings, right? When you look at tree rings and you can see how old the tree is, and you can also look at your fingers, because if you look at our fingerprints, they look like tree rings on a tree. That just like blew my mind. So a lot of things that we find within ourselves, we can see out in nature, right? It took time for these things to develop. There's always a process of development for everything. And I can say we're the capstone of creation, right? But it's still like ever growing, because we're like the culmination of everything that we can see in nature, which is why nature is one of the best schools. Nature will override things that are written. You can prove or disprove things that was written in a science field. You can prove or disqualify theories and stuff. Even you can test words that men write down and hold them sacred and call them religious texts, and this is the way. I believe they both can coexist together, but there has to be a baseline of truth between both. It's just like looking at the chakra system and the endocrine system. They both coexist together. You got some people, oh, the chakra, that's new age, bro. It's nothing but the energies in your body going along your endocrine system. They can both coexist, and they do coexist together. Some people just choose to teach from the energetic side, which is a lot of religious people, and other people choose to teach from the what we can prove and see scientific side that everybody's walking around with. Everybody got one. How can you say this is new age? Don't you have a spine? Can you walk? You're walking upright, right? Does everything in your body work? Means you have a working brain, which all of this is connected to the tailbone connected. Let's not get into it, right? It's just two different points of views on the truth, right? Now, if you're not balanced, you can kind of get off on either side, right? Which is why we have to do our due diligence and look into these things, and be able to hold unbiased opinions and views about things, put our feelings aside, and actually test things, right? Okay. So that was a quick recap. So they created these plateaus for the further development of the spirits who have already passed into their full spiritual phase, or have been born fully spirit. Okay, I just start over. We're at the top of page 195, verse 1, chapter 21. After Fragapati had examined the places of the Asaphs and of the physicians, and such other places as belong in the lower heavens, he descended to Hachdawa, the land of delusion, the happy hunting ground, in order to witness the games and tournaments which were so far maintained by a great expenditure of labor on the part of the Etherians for teaching by subjective illustrations. Jehovah said, as mortal children can be taught by objective illustration, so have I created my S worlds capable of a similar process subjectively. My rules are not man's rules, nor are my worlds illustrated as man illustrated. Hold on, I need my highlighter. Behold, my rainbow, which is a subjective illustration to mortals of a bow without the substance of a bow. But man bendeth a stick and saith, behold, a bow, and he holdeth it in his hand, but mine he cannot touch. I gave to mortals to teach their sons and daughters many combinations by the use of objects, that they should know a circle, a square, a triangle, or learn to compute numbers by the use of objects. Inversely, the same way I created subjective means for the spirits of the dead, that they might be taught and amused with my works. That they might be taught and amused with my works. To corporeans, I give corporal eyes and corporal ears, that they might attain to wisdom on the earth. Corporal being, we could just say fleshly eyes and ears, right? To corporeans, I give corporal eyes and corporal ears, that they might attain to wisdom on earth. But to a few I give suis, that they may see and hear things spiritually. To the spirits of mortals who die in infancy, to the spirits of mortals who die in infancy, I give spiritual eyes and spiritual ears, but without cultivation, they hear not corporal things, nor see corporal things. But to such spirits as have fulfilled an earth life, I created them to see and hear after death the matters of both worlds. Nevertheless, there are many spirits in heaven who have not fulfilled either a spiritual or a corporal life, and they can see but little and hear but little, for which reason I commanded that they should be called Druhas, signifying spirits of darkness. Verse 7, page 196 at the top. And I sent my gods and my lords, saying to them, go ye to the spirits of darkness, for they neither see nor hear heaven nor earth, and are wandering about indifferent even to their own nakedness. And ye shall create mirrors and lenses and optical illusions and delusions, and provide games and entertainments for them, so that their understanding may be opened up for the glory of my kingdoms. When the Avalanza arrived at Houch Dawa, it was lowered and made as an I'm messing this word up. Observatory. Okay, that's it. It was lowered and made as an observatory in order to witness what was going on, and yet so provided that it could be moved about from place to place. And they witnessed the heavenly tournaments and games, the boating and fishing and hunting, and all other entertainments representative of what these angels had been engaged at in mortal life. And yet these things were but subjective and not real. But it came to pass that many Druhas were restored to memory of earth life, restored to seeing and hearing, and in fact, to know that they had entered another world, illustrating to their dull senses that it was possible for them to learn to see things and to hear things understandingly. Nevertheless, there were within these regions hundreds of millions of angels so stupid as to be void of form and expression. Jehovah said, when a man hath fainted, thou shalt arouse him by calling his memory to things past. And when the Druge in heaven hath seen who he is, and his place also, thou shalt show him his symbols of things past, and thus awake him. Verse 14. Jehovah had said, behold, O man, thou art the chief. Hey, did I just say that? I said I didn't know it was about to. I just told y'all it was the capstone of creation. Okay. Hold on. I like that. I know I read this before, but I don't even remember it. And I certainly didn't read ahead to be talking about we're the capstone of creation. Listen to this. Listen. Verse 14, page 196 at the top. Jehovah had said, behold, O man, thou art the chiefest glory of my creations. Neither created I any animal that walketh on land, or flieth in the air, or swimmeth in the water, or that crawleth on its belly with desire for spiritual life, nor with capacity to accumulate spirituality. But to thee only, O man, have I given power to aggregate the spiritual entity. This is so good. Hold on. Let me write capstone in my book. Okay. Let me just go back. Verse 14. Scroll this down. Oh, I didn't see people that came in. Drace and Righteous, shalom, shalom. On go, Yazo. What's going on, fam? Kings and Queens Coaching Group, shalom, shalom. Oh, is you logged into two different accounts? One is all capital, one is not. Just me. What's going on, fam? Look beyond the trees and you will find me in the background. Yes and amen. Blessings, family, in the undefeated Iowa. Like, seriously, who can defeat the creator of this world? Right? I mean, because we really have only experience with this world, thus this the creator of this world. I'll go back. Verse 14, Jehovah has said, behold, O man, thou art the chiefest glory of my creations. Neither created I any animal that walketh on land, or flieth in the air, or swimmeth in the water, or that crawleth on its belly, with desire for spiritual life, nor with capacity to accumulate spirituality. But to thee only, O man, have I given power to aggregate the spiritual entity. For my animals, I bestowed like a vessel. For my animals, I bestowed like a vessel that is full of water. No more can be put into them. And also, when the vessel is destroyed, the water runneth back to the ocean. I quicken them into life by my own hand, but when I take my hand away, lo, they are going back into dissolution. As a drop of water hath no power before the sun, but evaporateth and is seen no more, so is the spirit of all animals I created before the light of my countenance. But to thee, O man, I gave power for everlasting life. And that, you know what? That seems to be a discrepancy to me. Hold on. Unless I'm understanding this wrong. Because I specifically remember a part in here. And I only remember this because my kids, and I remember this one little kid that lost his puppy, asked if animals go to heaven. So when I got to a wasp, and I saw that the level right the level right next to earth, or right that sits on top of the earth, where all this spiritual activity is here for those who are stuck here on this plane. I specifically read, I don't remember where in here, but they said that spirits of animals are on that level, right? But here, if it says that after they pass away, they just go into dissolution and they are no more, how can that be? I'm just saying. That's the first time I've noticed. I'm not going to say it's a discrepancy, but it's definitely something that I remember. I know I ain't tripping. Hold on. Maybe I read it wrong. We're just going to keep on reading. It said, Jamil said, it says something like the animals are there because humans love them, right? I remember that. So could it be that they're there because we want to call it a figment of their imagination? Maybe. I don't know. Let's read the scene. Anybody remember where that part is? I would like to bring that up and read it. Nazarene is seeing Grand Rising family. Anybody know right off the top of their head where that is? Because there's not really a good search engine for this book, like you can put in like for the Bible, and it pops up. You remember where they are subjective? Okay. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. So boom. Let's go back over here to where it says right at the end of verse 10. Listen. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Jamil, thank you. Listen. Okay. Let me reread verse 10 on page 196. It says, and they witnessed the heavenly tournaments and games, the boating and fishing and hunting, and all other entertainments representative of what these angels had been engaged in at mortal life. The angels had been engaged in. Angels are nothing more than humans who are fully born spirit, right? So the newly dead, if they lived that particular life, if they were old enough, they engaged in some of these things, right? Okay. And they witnessed the heavenly tournaments and games, the boating and fishing and hunting, and all other entertainments representative of what these angels had been engaged at immortal life, and yet these things were but subjective and not real. So that answered my question, right? Thank you, Jamia. So the plane where Microsoft Word, I guess you can run a search on Microsoft Word. I would have to copy the section of it, but I mean, well, it might be, I don't know. I do have a PDF. Maybe I can put it in a PDF checker, a search in PDF. We'll figure it out. But listen, so okay, then maybe it's not a discrepancy. When we get to it, I'm going to definitely remember this. If somebody can remember the exact place where it is, we can read it real quick before we go. But okay, so let me read this again, verse 10. I'm gonna jump back to verse 15 and I'm gonna reread that. Okay. That pacifies me for the time being. And they witnessed the heavenly tournaments and games, the boating and fishing and hunting, and all other entertainments representative of what these angels had been engaged at in mortal life, and yet these things were but subjective and not real. Hop down to verse 15. For my animals I bestowed like a vessel that is full of water. No more can be put into them. And also, when the vessel is destroyed, the water runneth back to the ocean. I quickened them into life by my own hands. But when I take away my hand, lo, they are going back into dissolution. As a drop of water hath no power before the sun, but evaporateth and is seen no more, so is the spirit of all animals I created before the light of my countenance. But to thee, O man, I gave power for everlasting life. Okay. It pacifies me for now. I just make a little note. Animals are subjective in the heavens. Okay. Okay. We got to stop and ask questions. I can't get into that habit of just not asking questions like I did when I was a Christian, just gloss over things and keep the questions quiet, right? That would show no signs of growth whatsoever. We should be asking questions. PDF F11, I think. Animals don't survive. Oh, see you. What's going on, fam? I just clicked on and realized who this comment is from. Thank you for hanging out in the background. I know you're always with us. Animals don't survive for too long in heaven, only for a season. Right. I remember that because it said they're only found on like that first level or subjective. I mean, it makes a little bit more sense to me now. Okay. Thank you for that, OCU. All right. Verse 16. Nevertheless, as a man may take a drop of water and put it in a vial and keep it for a long time, so have I given to my exalted angels power to take the spirit of a fish or of an animal suddenly dead and reclothe it with the semblance of a body you literally just said that, for a season, right? Let me read it over. Nevertheless, as a man may take a drop of water and put it in a vial and keep it for a long time, so have I given to my exalted angels power to take the spirit of a fish or of an animal suddenly dead and reclothe it with the semblance of a body for a season, but yet it is only a subjective existence. And even as a man letteth a stone out of his hand, and it falleth to the ground, so when my angels let go their hands on my spiritual animals, their spirits fall into the sea of my body and are seen no more. Even so, also, but in less degree, created I the trees, the grass, the moss, and all vegetable things that grow on the face of the earth. And I gave to my exalted angels power to take the spirit out of a tree or a bush or a plant and carry it away and reclothe it with corporal substance. But to my exalted gods, I gave power to do the same things, not with one plant only, but with whole forests and with animals and fish and serpents. And when they do those things in atmosphere, they are called subjective heavens. Wherefore, yeah, because it's like they're practicing their creative skills that are developing, right? You are creator, you are part creator of creator. So with them being able to do this, you're practicing your creation skills, because what will you be in the time to come? You will be called not only just God, but if you keep on developing, at some point you begin to walk in the office of creator, right? We didn't get to that. And this hit on it like a little bit and stuff, but okay, we'll keep going. We ain't gonna get into that. Look, okay. This is a long verse. Let me just start it over. Verse 16. Nevertheless, as a man may take a drop of water and put it in a vial and keep it for a long time, so have I given to my exalted angels power to take the spirit of a fish or of an animal suddenly dead and reclothe it with the semblance of a body for a season. But yet it is only a subjective existence. And even as a man letteth the stone out of his hand and it falleth to the ground, so when my angels let go their hands on my spiritual animals, their spirits fall into the sea of my body and are seen no more. Even so also, but in less degree, created I the trees, the grass, the moss, and all vegetable things that grow on the face of the earth. And I gave to my exalted angels power to take the spirit out of a tree or a bush or a plant and to carry it away and reclothe it with corporal substance. But to my exalted gods, I gave power to do the same things, not only with one plant, but with whole forests and with animals and fish and serpents. And when they do these things in atmosphere, they are called subjective heavens. Wherefore it came to pass in the ancient days that when spirits of darkness returned to mortals, they told them that heaven was like unto earth, with everlasting life unto all animals as well as to man. Turn not away from such spirits, O man, but learn from them, that thou mayest not tarry long in my bound heavens when thou becomest a spirit also. Oh, that's good. Verse 18, for if thou settest thy soul to feed on animals and to dwell with them, the gods cannot deliver thee to my emancipated heavens till thou hast served thy time in the lower heavens. One great light have I bestowed unto all men, that they may progress forever. I like that. I underlined it the first time we read it, almost a year ago. But I'm going to highlight over the underlining. Listen. For if thou set thy soul to feed on animals, cookout, hot dogs, hamburgers, brats, chicken, ribs, if thou settest thy soul to feed on animals and to dwell with them, the gods cannot deliver thee to my emancipated heavens till thou hast served thy time until thou hast served thy time in the lower heavens. I'm just making sure it's not a message for the video. Look up at the comments. Okay, sorry. All right, hold on. Thank you. Hold on. Let me look. I'm trying to see how hold on. Okay, let me just ask you this. Let me scroll down for the. Okay, 12:8. I was like, okay. Okay. For the beasts of the field and the birds and fowls of the air, and for many animals that are companions to man, made our place in heaven where their spirit should survive for sea. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Okay, let me write that reference over here. Thank you. So let me ask you, was the first the first one you put was a typo? You meant 12:8, not 11:8. Because that's what I was looking for. I was trying to make that make sense on what we was talking about. Hold on. That's found in the book of Judgment. 12:8. No. What? Hold on. Let's move. 12:8. How did I even flip pages? I don't even know how those pages got out my hand. Okay, hold on. Maybe I need to go back to that. All right, yeah, 12:8, page 675. Page 675. Okay, survive for a season. Boom. Thank you. Just me. Not only quick searching with the reference for the Bible, but it looked like you almost got a WASP on lock. Thank you for that. Okay. Let me I'm gonna read it out loud again. Okay. Second. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Let me just read it. Where we at? Okay, let me just start from we're on page 675. I'm gonna read from verse 1. O man, remember thy creator and praise him, and this thou art graded by thy God, who see not him, are weak in spirit, who see him in all things and hear his voice in the heavens, and in every herb are strong in spirit. These are the grades of the resurrection of the souls of men. For what is the earth but a fouling nest, and the possessions of the earth but chains of bondage? Let me read that again. For what is the earth but a fouling, what's it, fouling, foaling, Foaling, fouling? For what is the earth but a fouling nest, and the possessions of the earth but chains of bondage? My heavens rest upon the earth, the place of the Easians is in my keeping, and the places of the grades of my heaven have I adjusted according to the inhabitants thereof. The plateaus that talked about here, where we at in the book of Fragapati. Verse 6, I people the heavens of the earth with spirits of the dead, according to their grade and their corporal lives, so do I arrange them, to provide them unto everlasting resurrection, and make them to rejoice in their being. These are the laborers of thy God. For the beasts of the field, and the birds and fowls of the air, and for many animals that are companions to man, made I a place in heaven where their spirits should survive for a season. And this animal heaven I graded one in the order of my heavens, right? So the lowest of the low, that's where they're found. And this animal heaven I graded one in the order of my heavens. For I saw that man on earth had delight in them, and I provided unto them for his Easian period, or like infancy spirit. I'm sorry, the infancy of your spirit. Just like when you're born here, you're an infant, there is that phase when you're fully born spirit as well. So you come into this world as a baby. Every world you progress into, you start as an infant, right? Or whatever that is called for that particular phase of life. Like in the womb, it's embryo, right? But you don't start as an embryo. The cycle starts way before then. And then you come here, you're titled infant, right? Same thing, easy. And when you enter the spiritual world for the first time, fully born, right? You're a baby. Verse 11, and I made the animal heaven. Hold on. Nope, let me go back. I went too far. Verse 9, and this animal heaven I graded one in the order of my heavens, for I saw that man on earth had delight in them, and I provided unto him for his Easian period, that he might rejoice in remembrance of finding his loves. And I made the animal heaven to rest on the face of the lands of the earth, even the same as the place of the Ezian in grade 1. Remember, O man, thy creator gave to every animal a season on the earth, but he limited them to a time to become extinct. Even so, and of like duration, made I a heavenly period for the spirits of animals companionable to man. What I thought about here. That's amazing. Listen, the animals on the Ezian period of life, it's like a pacifier for babies. I don't know why that thought just came to mind, right? Listen, this or some babies like blankets. Some babies like their favorite stuffed animal to calm them down. But the first thing that I thought, and a lot of times it's either a pacifier or their thumb, right? It's what comforts them, how they comfort themselves, right? Listen, that's first of all, that's beautiful. Listen, let me go back. Verse 9, and this animal heaven graded I one in the order of my heavens, for I saw that man on earth had delight in them, and I provided unto him for his Ezian period, that he might rejoice in remembrance of finding his loves. And I made the animal heaven to rest on the face of the lands of the earth, even the same as the place of the Ezian in grade 1. Remember, O man, thy creator gave to every animal a season on the earth, but he limited them to a time to become extinct. Even so, and of like duration, made I a heavenly period for the spirits of animals companionable to man. But for man, I provided heavens above, where he should rise as to place, even as he riseth as to goodness and knowledge. Magnify thy perception, O man, that thou mayest comprehend the kingdoms of thy God. Behold, the example of thy creator set before thee in the fashion of the earth. Oh my gosh, didn't we just say that? Didn't we not say that before we even started? Thank you, just me. Listen, talking about us being miniature earths, being the capstone of creation, all that we have in us, we can see and we can test out here in nature. You know what? I get super excited when I be putting this stuff together, y'all. Hold on. Let me highlight this. That was verse 14 on page 675. Magnify thy perception, O man, that thou mayest comprehend the kingdoms of thy God. Behold, the example thy creator set before thee in the fashion of the earth. Can y'all tell I love learning? I love being a student. My husband's like, "You gonna go to school forever?" Yes, and is. I just like to develop my understanding, right? It's not just like I'm book smart. I really like to understand the world around me. All right, y'all, let's go back. Okay. Thank you for that, just me, for that reference. And the lowest plateau shall be called Houch Dawa, signifying happy hunting ground. Later, family, the big wheels keep on turning. Proud Mary keep on burning. Go on, get to work. Okay. All right, y'all. 12:8. Yep, I figured that out. I wonder if it would be hard for animal activists to rise in spirit. Good question. I wonder if the animal I wonder if the animals have a limited time in heaven. What about the yaks? Did some of them ever make it to heavenly life? You know what? They talk about this, and I forget where. That's something else that's talked about in here. And I believe, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the yaks, as humans were developing throughout time, I believe that was I'm gonna get this probably all screwed up. I ain't gonna say another species of human. But I think at that point they were they were not as developed in their understanding and intelligence. And if I remember correctly, because of that, they were not they were not able to rise in spirit, right? Because I remember, I think after that, it shortly got into like the spirits and the idols. Matter of fact, I believe that's where the idols came in place. That's where the idols started, right? Trying to teach them. I forgot where that's at, but they started. That's when they implemented the idols to try to lift their intelligence spiritually. Hold on one second, y'all. Somebody at my door. Jeremiah. Isaiah. Go get Jeremiah. Let him know TT and J at the door. Tell them come on, they waiting. All right, yeah. If I remember correctly. But if y'all remember that spot, I think we already passed that too. That's in I flip right to it. Types of races, plate 3, page 50. So if you go back here, it's in the book of Ashong. If y'all get time, go back through there. Who's that? Tabitha, Keon Cooper, she's using her son account. But going back there, I believe that's where, but mortals were thick in tongue and could not say Yeshua, but they said Iesu. Hence came the name of many men, Iesu, signifying without evil, which is the ultimate salvation of the soul. Go back here. It probably starts before here, but I think this is actually, I'm looking at it. Better is it to labor with the child from infancy and thence to maturity, to teach it aright, than to strive with a score of conceited adults and fail to redeem one. Whew. Oh, yeah, go back to the book of Ashong. Yeah. Now, the time had come after the end of the first dawn of day, after the creation of man. Yeah, I think it starts at chapter 9 or page 49, where it starts going into a little bit about the beginning, some of the beginning races, and because it has what this, the Ehin, the Ehuan, and the Yak in this picture right here, y'all. At the bottom, see them 3 naked men. That, yeah. So back here, start there. All right, y'all. Where we at? We ain't even finished this chapter, and it's only 24 verses. We ain't gonna get into what you call it today because we already at 7:17. Hold on. Okay, so go back. Who was on page 197? I'll just reread verse 18. Let's just go back to 16. We'll go back to 16 now. I ain't gonna stop no more. I'm gonna just read to verse 24. Nevertheless, as a man may take a drop of water and put it in a vial to keep it for a long time, so have I given to my exalted angels power to take the spirit of a fish or of an animal suddenly dead and reclothe it with the semblance of a body for a season. But yet, it is only a subjective existence. And even as a man letteth a stone out of his hand, and it falleth to the ground, so when my angels let go their hands on my spiritual animals, their spirits fall into the sea of my body, and are seen no more. Even so also, but in less degree, created I the trees, and the grass, the moss, and all vegetable things that grow on the face of the earth. And I gave to my exalted angels power to take the spirit out of a tree, or a bush, or a plant, and to carry it away and reclothe it. All right, son, love you. Be safe. And I gave to my exalted angels power to take the spirit out of a tree, or a bush, or a plant, and to carry it away and reclothe it with corporal substance. But to my exalted gods I gave power to do the same things, not with one plant only, but with whole forests and with animals and fish and serpents. And when they do these things in atmosphere, they are called subjective heavens. Wherefore it came to pass in the ancient days that when the spirits of darkness returned to mortals, they told them that heaven was like unto the earth, with everlasting life unto all animals as well as to man. Turn not away from such spirits, O man, but learn from them, that thou mayest not tarry long in my bound heavens when thou becomest a spirit also. Yeah, I can imagine why you would want to take this bit of advice, because if you get there, I've reached heaven, the best, most perfect place of all things, and you don't realize this is like the infant, this is daycare with baby gates. Oh boy, you gonna have a time. You are in baby gate heaven, my G. For if thou settest thy soul to feed on animals and to dwell with them, the gods cannot deliver thee to my emancipated heavens, till thou hast served thy time in the lower heavens. One great light have I bestowed unto all men, that they may progress forever. Though the waters of the ocean rise up and make clouds, and the clouds fall down as rain and run to the rivers, and thence back into the ocean 1,000 times, 10,000s of times, yet the water hath not progressed. Neither have I given progress to a stone, nor to a tree, nor to an animal, but to man only have I given progress. Y'all, this is so good to me. When I go outside, I just look at things so differently. Be wise, O man, and tie not thyself to things that progress not. Be wise, O man, and tie not thyself to things that progress not, nor set thy soul upon them, lest they become a bondage to thee in the next world. But for the droops I have created heavens midway betwixt light and darkness, subjective and objective, that they may be redeemed. Yo, let me keep going. Fragapati also visited the Washa Wow Wow, the great hunting fields, and the place of tournaments, the Sakatosi, with thousands and 10,000s of Druhas were being amused and instructed and awakened to their condition and to their possibilities. And when Fragapati and his host had seen the beauty and grandeur of this lowest of heavens, and made a record of the affairs, Yatanti said, "Now have I shown thee, O Fragapati, the foundation of a great house, even my kingdom, which is Jehovah's. I am at thy service to go whithersoever thou mayest desire." Remember, all of this is happening where? Where's all of this happening? All of this, the culmination of all the times. Where's all this going down at, y'all? What heaven was we just talking about? The heavens over what landmass? Tone, the lowly one. What's going on, fam? I'll wait. Anybody remember? Anybody remember where all this is taking place? It's not a trick question. I'll wait just a second, because we got to end it. We literally got like 2 more verses. No one can answer that question. Nobody? Anybody paying attention? I'm gonna just start asking y'all random questions. Y'all just hear from my shenanigans. Thank you, Tabitha. Gautama. What's another name for Gautama? Let's just answer. North. Thank you. A little more specific. North Gautama. What do we call North Gautama today? It is happening on the earth, right? But what part specifically? What part specifically? What is another name for North Gautama? What do we call North Gautama today? Let me rephrase the question. What do we call North Gautama today? Somebody. Okay, Nazarene sing. America. What part of America? Somebody different. Somebody different. USA is America. What part of America? America, everybody. Thank you. But I said a different person, right? Elizabeth Weaver. North America, yes. North Guatemala is North America, where we are at. So all this is happening in the heavens above North America during this particular time period, right? Okay. All right. Let me just go back. Verse 20. Fragapati also visited the Washa Wow, the great hunting fields, and the place of tournaments, the Sakatosi, where thousands and 10,000s of Druhads were being amused and instructed and awakened to their condition and to their possibilities. And when Fragapati and his host had seen the beauty and grandeur of this lowest of heavens and made a record of the affairs, Yatante said, "Now have I shown thee, O Fragapati, the foundation of a great house, even my kingdom, which is Jehovah's. I am at thy service to go whithersoever thou mayest desire." Then spake Fragapati, saying, "I desire to descend beneath, even to the earth's surface, and survey the plains and rivers and lakes in the regions where the Father's kingdom will be founded. Let my mathematicians compute the time, and these things shall also be recorded in the Ethereal libraries for benefit of the angels of that day." The mathematicians computed the time, and then Yotsi Putu, the chief, said 8,900 years. 8,900 years. So Fragapati caused the Avalanza to be lowered down to the earth's surface, and he coursed the land over east and west and north and south. And when he saw it was a fair country as to land and water, he said, "Behold the wisdom of Jehovah in the foundation and plans for inhabiting and subduing earth." And yet 8,900 years. Oh, what innumerable millions on the earth will go down in darkness ere that day. Here the light will fall. Here is the beginning of the death of Cephas. Yet thy hand, O Jehovah, is over all. So that's the last verse, but there's a footnote. After 8,900 years is referenced to letter H, right? So if we hop back to page 236, remember the letter references are at the end of the current book. So H said, it's on page 236. The Ark of Fragapati endured 3,100 years. The text relates that the Ark of Spenta Armige was 24,000 years. I'm sorry, not 24,000, 2,400 years. And the Ark of Lika was 3,400 years. The total is therefore 8,900 years, bringing the projection of time down to the dawn of Cosmon, which is where we are at now, right? So all this calculating that they were doing back in this day over the heavens in North America was preparing for this time where we're at now, right? We barely escaped. It's time to say it. We barely escaped Miss Pammy's naughty corner with North America. Right? Look, I gotta make it more interactive. I mean, I love the input that we be having, but I figure I gotta start asking questions. I was gonna do it on the in the community section, which I still am, and I've only asked one question. But like I said, I want to ask the questions where they're not specifically are relating to a book where you just, oh, that's found in the Bible, right? I want to make the questions evergreen to whereas when you read them and you ask them, it's not pointing you to a religion or a religious book or a new age book or whatever you want to call it. I want it to point to you. I want it to point inward, something that makes you think about your existence here and your purpose of being here and how far you have progressed. Have you come to a stop, right? Why have you stopped growing spiritually? Like all it, that's what I want the questions. And it's taking some time. I got to put some thought behind some of these questions to make sure that it guides people in the way they should go, that helps them grow, right? Or if they happen to be in a place where they're stuck, something that kind of knock on that hardened door or something to get it to open or pry it open, bring some light in. But that takes a careful, thoughtful process. Also without I'll say without hurting anybody's feelings or ridiculing them how they currently believe or their beliefs or whatever. Really, I got to be careful. That's what I'm learning. So I'm being careful with my words, even with some of my jokes that I crack about Christians, because I used to be that. I used to be that, right? So, but I'm just like, oh, okay. But like I said, I realize now that's like doing it to a baby or a 6-year-old or a 4-year-old that doesn't even really know any better yet, right? They're what they're doing. They really haven't even, well, I don't know. They really haven't even come into them full selves yet to really be able to exhibit their own personality outside of all the other information that has been projected onto them, so to speak. So, yeah. All right, y'all. But hey, girl. Hey, family. Woke up late. Got to catch the rest after work. All right, y'all. Yeah, we got to get out of here. We've been up here for an hour and 13 minutes. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get better about my time for real. I'm working on that. I be struggling in the morning sometimes. I really do. Supposed to be here at 6:15, right? See, everything changes this year. No more excuses. Sometimes I'm still finding it hard to turn the bed loose, y'all. Right? That's because I don't go to bed when I should, right? And I know why, right? I don't go to bed when I should because I stay up too late. I gotta, I'm working it out, y'all. But anyway, Tikva, welcome in, but we headed out too. All right, y'all. So all we read today was one chapter in the book of Fraggle Patty. We started on page 195 when we went all the way to page 198. 198. And that's all we read today. And we just kind of had fun. So, Father, we thank you that you allow us room to grow and space to grow and time to grow. And even when we run out of time, you create more time called infinity to continue to help us grow. And you put plateaus and stages in place to help us guide us throughout the time of infinity where there is no time. All right, beautiful people. It is Tuesday, September the 19th, 2023. Day 105 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets, another 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1485. I already told y'all we only read one chapter. Super long day, pages 195 to 198 in the book of Fraggle Patty. So that's it, y'all. We out of here. I'm gonna get my my outros together, how I got them numbered. I got things uploaded, and I still be hitting the intro for the outro the last couple days. So I'll make sure I hit the right one today. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold. I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, making
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eyes.
Been dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this particular universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I don't need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need gold. I'm a fine line, yeah, I'm a mislead of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.